Hello and welcome to our virtual yoga class. I'm Vanessa and I'm back for some of these online classes. I had an injury in my lower back, so I took a break, but I'm happy to be here and to ground with you. As a reminder, we go to our yoga practice to center ourselves and meet whatever is going on. We have a tendency to think of yoga as a practice that is about trying to calm yourself. And it's not necessarily about trying to calm yourself. It's about acknowledging who you are from one moment to the next. So we'll settle into class in a seated position, shift into a cross-legged. If you need to do any variation in your seat, go ahead and do so. Acknowledging that as you settle into your seat is your opportunity to pay attention to what is going on. You're going to notice your sit bones on the floor. Those are the bones near your glutes. You're going to activate your core to support lengthening the back. You'll notice your neck and shoulders. See if you can soften and relax there. And then you'll welcome an intentional breath, inhaling and exhaling. Your eyes can be opened or closed. If your eyes are open, I recommend keeping your attention on one point across the floor or room. That'll help with focus. When we're unfocused, our eyes tend to flitter around. Inhale and exhale. You're noticing your breath. You can notice a more natural breath. You can start to bring in a more intentional breath. And I recommend inhaling here, exhaling, sighing out. Start to drop your chin towards your chest and allow your head to hang here. Chin towards the chest, head dropped. You notice that stretch and the neck, upper back, perhaps even around your shoulders, hold. It's important here you allow your head to relax. And then start to roll your head from one shoulder to the next, either completing a full circle or shifting into a half circle. Remembering to breathe, noticing any spots that feel a little tense, a little sore, placing attention to our neck and our shoulders, areas that tend to store stress, because when we tense up, we tend to tense up and it affects our shoulders and our neck. So take a moment here, a couple of neck rolls, allow yourself to deepen. Part of our practice in our yoga class is to slow down, to release this sense of hurry, of doing, and settling more into a space of being and feeling. By being, I'm saying B-E-I-N-G. And culturally, we're more accustomed to a culture of doing. So we want to practice just sensing our bodies, releasing our sense of time, noticing that there's no hurry. You can notice that with these neck rolls. Lingering in a stretch. And perhaps find that final stretch around your neck and shoulder. We'll start to bring our head back to a neutral position. Once your head arrives, let's inhale, lift our arms up overhead. Palms face up towards the ceiling. Lengthen your arms, your elbows lengthen. You're going to stretch towards the left. You're still grounding through your sit bones here. Belly expands on your inhale. Come back to center and then opposite side, holding here. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands. Take that left hand, grab your right knee. You're going to twist towards the right and hold. Another breath. You're gripping that knee for extra support in that twist. And then release, opposite side. Right hand to that left knee, twist towards the left. Inhale. Exhale, release, come back to center. Let's inhale, lift our arms up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling, lengthening your elbows. And then exhale, round your spine, chin towards chest, palms towards the front, hold. And then release your hands. We're gonna go ahead and lengthen our legs out. We're gonna take a moment here to lay on our back. We're gonna focus on our legs. Back of the head meets the mat. Palms up towards the ceiling. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Notice that breath that begins at the belly. The belly expands. Your choice, exhale, sigh it out. 2 more cycles of breath. Inhaling, your choice, exhale, sigh out. And after 3 or so breaths, you'll start to bend that right knee. Interlace your fingers behind that right thigh, lengthen your right leg up towards the ceiling. This is a stretch here around the hamstrings. You're also affecting around the calf muscle. You can rotate your ankle here. We tend to not place a lot of attention to our feet. So take a moment here to spread those toes, point your toes downwards towards you, rotate that ankle clockwise, counterclockwise. It's important to bring awareness there to our heels and balls of our feet. These are areas that when we're in our standing poses, we ground through our feet. Bring your awareness to your feet now. And as needed, go ahead and shift your attention to your hamstrings. You can lengthen your leg here as much as you can, allowing a little micro bend to the knee. And then bend your right knee. Grip that right knee with your hands. Round your spine, forehead towards your knee. And then drop your head back. Opposite side, you're gonna bend your left knee and lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers right behind that left thigh. Lengthen your leg. Inhale, exhale. Breathing into your left hamstring. You can place attention to your feet, spreading your toes, pointing your toes downwards towards you. You can rotate your ankle. It's going to activate a stretch there around the ankle. You can also activate around the calf muscle as well. Inhale, exhale, a few more breaths here. Then start to bend that left knee, grip that left knee with your hands, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, and then drop your head back. From here, bend both knees, rock a little bit to the left, to the right, and then ground that left foot onto the mat. Right ankle rests on top of your left thigh. Weave your right hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers behind that left thigh. Noticing a stretch in the right hip. You can always bring your thigh closer towards you to intensify the stretch. Inhale. Exhale. And then release, opposite side. Left ankle rests on top of your right thigh. Weave your left hand between your legs, interlace your fingers behind that right thigh. Hold here, hanging in here, or bringing that right thigh closer towards your chest, your belly, by applying some gentle pressure with your hands. Breathe into that left hip. And then release. We're gonna go ahead and lift up and start to prepare for our forward fold. Shifting into position here, your feet are butt hips width distance apart, knees are generously bent, soften neck and head here. Inhale, exhale. We're gonna sweep our arms up overhead, grounding through our heels, balls of our feet. Lift our arms up overhead. You're noticing an extension in the spine. Palms come to meet, hands in front of your heart center. Take a moment here, noticing left hand press against right hand press against the left hand. Noticing this present moment. By inviting your breath, you're inviting your experience. Inhale here, exhale, side out. 3 sun salutations to release our hands. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, fold down, softening neck and head as you release. Inhale, halfway up. Your back is flat. Exhale, fold. Ground your palms onto the mat right beneath your shoulders. You lengthen your legs. Heels press towards the back. Glutes are engaged. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. So I'm engaging my glutes here for extra support. Curl your toes, downward facing dog. In this inversion, you are grounding your palms onto the mat, bringing your chest closer towards your thighs. Your heels are lifted. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale, optional, exhale, sigh it out. On that 3rd breath, take your gaze between your hands, walk or jump up to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, back is flat. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep our arms up overhead. You're grounding through your heels, noticing the extension of your spine, lengthening your arms, noticing both palms come to touch, hands in front of your heart center, shoulders are relaxed. Inhale here, exhale, side out. Release our hands, inhale, arms lift. Inviting this body awareness, we exhale, fold down. Noticing our heels, our core, our neck. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Ground both palms onto the mat beneath your shoulders. Legs are long. Engage your core, your glutes, release down towards the floor. Inhale up. Exhale, downward facing dog. A couple of breaths here in your down dog. If you want to pedal your feet back and forth, go ahead and do that. It's going to open up more around the hamstrings and the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Take your gaze between your hands. Walk or jump up, step forward, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's sweep our arms up overhead. Hands in front of your heart center. We're welcoming our breath, welcoming our body, welcoming our experience. So when we're in a space of stress, fear, anxiety, we tend to want to run away from our bodies. In our yoga practice, we're sensing our breath, Inhale, exhale, side out. And it's a practice you're cultivating, increasingly being aware of the body. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. My glutes are engaged as I lift up into my upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. Once in that down dog, you have two choices. You can lift your left leg, bend your knees, stack your hips in your down dog. You can also do this in your tabletop. Hold. And then left knee towards that left elbow, hover. Lift your leg again, bend your knees, stack your hips. And then release that foot back down towards the floor. Opposite side, lift your right leg, bend your right knee, stack your hips. Generous breath. And then take that right knee towards that right elbow, hover, pressing your palms onto the mat for strength. And then lift your leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. You can do this in tabletop as well, that's an alternative. And then release your foot back down towards the floor, and then we'll take a moment in a child's pose. Release knees onto the mat. Your knees can be towards the edges of your mat or close together. Extend the spine. Deep belly breath. Notice the beginning of your inhale, the end of your exhale. Two more breaths in your child's pose. And then start to release that child's pose, grounding your palms onto the mat. Shift into your forward fold, soften neck and head. Hands to your shins, 3 rounds. We're gonna inhale halfway up, back is flat, shoulders relax. Exhale, release, breathe into the backs of your legs. Second round. And then third round, inhale halfway up. After that third round, slowly roll up to standing. You want to be very purposeful in moving slowly, grounding through your heels. There's no rush. Your goal is not to lift quickly. Your goal is to lift up slowly, lengthening the spine, making adjustments as you come up to your mountain pose. In your mountain pose, you're noticing your heels, your toes. Palms and fingers are active, fingers are spread out, shoulders are relaxed. Your choice, eyes open or eyes closed. A generous breath here, inhale here. Exhale, side out. Release your hands or take your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers, either palms touch or they don't, but lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold down, keeping those shoulder blades close together. And now take your hands to your knees or to your shins. Inhale halfway up, 3 rounds. And then after that third round, roll up slowly to standing. Take your time. And as you come to standing in your mountain pose, choose mountain pose, hands framing your hips or hands in front of your heart center. Intentional breath, welcoming your experience, whatever is there. Inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. Start to bend your knees, chair pose, arms stretch out in front, palms face, engage your glutes. Breathe into your heels, backs of your legs, open your chest, relax your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bend down to that forward fold. 3 rounds. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Second round. And third round. And then after those rounds, sweep your arms up overhead, grounding through your heels. Hands in front of your heart center. Inhale here, exhale, side out. Release your hands, goddess pose. We're gonna lengthen our stance here. Right toe to the right, left toes to the left. Bend your knees about a 90 degrees. There's a slight lift to your tailbone. Hands either in front of your heart center or lift your arms up, palms facing each other. Inhale. Exhale, sit a little deeper. Another breath, inhale. And then exhale, release your hands, toes forward, wide-legged forward fold, hinge at the hips. Hold and release. Hands can reach the floor. You can grip your toes with your index and thumb. Just a slight little bend to your knees. Breathe into the backs of your legs. Breathe behind your knees, down to your calves. Soften neck and head. Notice if there's any tension there, please release that tension if it's there. And then hands onto the mat. Start to bring your feet close together. Inhale, halfway up once. Exhale, release, and then come to your tabletop, knees on the mat. Hands grounding right beneath your shoulders. Inhale up, cow pose, lift your tailbone. Exhale, cow pose. 2 more times, inhaling up and down. Cow and cat pose. And then ground that right palm onto the mat. Lift your left arm up. And release. Opposite side. Left hand palms ground onto the mat. Lift your right arm up. Release, and then one balance pose. We're gonna lift our left leg. Lift our right arm. Left leg, right arm parallel to the floor. Quads are active, glutes and core. Deep belly breath. You can gaze straight ahead of you or take your gaze down towards the mat. And then release. Opposite side, lift your right leg, lift your left arm. Inhale. Exhale.
Release that left hand, release your knee. One more cat and cow pose. And then release. We're going to lengthen our legs out in front and start to lay onto the mat. Make your way there. Legs stretch out. Invite a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead, interlacing your fingers. Lengthening your legs, lengthening your elbows. You can lift your abdomen up towards the ceiling. And then release, bend both knees, feet float off the floor, rock to the left and to the right. And after a breath here, release, lengthen your legs. We'll shift into your Shavasana, palms face up towards the ceiling, soften neck, shoulders, inhale, exhale, side out. And then from here on, you can invite intentional deep, long breaths, or allow your breath to go back to its regular rhythm, its natural rhythm of control of the breath. So either have their benefits. Exercise that body wisdom where you know what you need. And then from here, soften your forehead and jaw. Areas so that we unconsciously store some tension. Soften your neck and shoulders. Scanning the area of your arms, noticing your elbows and wrists and fingertips. See if you can imagine softening your palm and fingertips just a little bit more. Notice the metaphor here that we tend to move through life holding things, clenching things, moving and doing with our hands. Notice what happens when you purposely soften your palms and your fingers. You're not holding on to anything. What do your hands feel like? How can you imagine softening just a little bit more? Pinky finger, forefinger, middle, index and thumb. Soften the length of your spine, softening upper back, mid back, lower back. down to the area around your tailbone. And then down the length of your legs, notice your hips behind your knees, calves down to your ankles and toes, softening, letting go. And notice that as you arrive to your body and as you arrive to your breath, you're arriving to yourself. Allow yourself to release and let go and receive. Practicing being versus doing.
And then we'll start to shift our attention back to our breath, inviting some gentle movement to our fingertips and our toes. Invite a generous and leisurely inhale and exhale. This is a very particular type of breath. There is no hurry. We inhale generously and leisurely. You can start to turn your body to the left or right, allowing it to remain heavy and relaxed, or you can remain here laying on your back. Returning to your generous and your leisurely breath. And then after you've had a breath, start to slowly make your way up to your seated position. So you can be in a cross-legged, you can sit on your ankles. If you need to stretch your legs out in front, you can also do that. Make the adjustments you need to feel comfortable in your seat. And then notice your spine, perhaps activating your core, lengthening the spine. Quick check on your neck and your shoulders. And then see if you prefer to keep your eyes open or closed. Notice by inviting our breath, we're inviting our experience. So on that note, we will seal our yoga class with an intentional breath. Let's take our hands to our heart center. Intentional inhale here and intentional exhale. And as a reminder, in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. May we walk with each other
and gratitude.